What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So I started seeing all these pictures on social media of people. Actually, it was UFC fighters, a collection of UFC fighters' photos where they were aged up to look older, and it looked amazing. It looked like really good Photoshop, not like a face swap kind of a thing where they put an old person's face on, like Conor McGregor, let's say, for an example. But they were like able to age it. And so I decided to check this app out. There was a little watermark on it, FaceApp. So I downloaded it, and it's an app that uses AI to either age you up or make you younger. There's other filters on there to give you. Well, there's premium filters, which I didn't buy the pro version, but you can do like makeup things, and like it has a lot of features. But primarily the feature that everybody's used, the feature that went viral, is the feature that makes you older. And of course, I did it. I did it to a few of my photos. I did it to a few photos of other people. And then there was the huge explosion, the backlash, when everybody found out that FaceApp is a Russian-owned company owned by Wireless Lab, and that in the user agreement, it states that all photos that are uploaded and used in the app are owned now by the company, which everybody's flipping out about. I can understand, because we live in a culture where flipping out and outrage is kind of the trendiest thing to do. But in the line of every other internet property that is free to use, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that that's what's happening. I would imagine that if they were going to use any of these photos for promotional purposes, which I don't think they need to, I think just having everybody using their app with the watermark on it so everybody downloads it so they can do it to their own photos. I mean, they're generally going to be using famous people, I would imagine. As far as things that nefarious purposes, I think people should just chill the fuck out. I mean, if you have any kind of social media account in which you are using that platform to complain about FaceApp, then you need to understand that all of the content that you're putting up on those apps, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, those don't exist on your shit. If Twitter wants to just unplug and take everybody's photo that's ever been uploaded to Instagram, then they have all of that stuff on their servers, along with everything that you've written. If Instagram wanted to just shut down all of a sudden, it's not like you're going to have the opportunity to download all of your shit. I mean, that's just what all of these apps are for and have. I mean, as far as having access to your photo, it's like, if Russia wanted to have access to your photos, then they would just go to all of your other social media accounts where you post all of your selfies. Like, you can't like post selfies of yourself to the public using Instagram or Twitter and then expect that an app like FaceApp doesn't have the same act. I mean, it's not like this is the first time Russia has had access to the photos of people. It's mind-blowing seeing people that just are completely outraged over something that happens constantly, continuously, and people willingly participate. Like, if you don't want Russia to have pictures of you, then get off of the internet. Don't use any social media accounts. I don't care if you're private or not. They're using the internet. You're allowing access. Like, if you don't want the UK government to have a picture of yourself, don't go out in public, right? Because they have cameras everywhere. But it doesn't. There's like people are like complaining about privacy on social media accounts where they tell humans everything about themselves. They show pictures of the interiors of their houses and their apartments. They show pictures of their loved ones and their animals. They show pictures of their neighborhood. They show pictures of all forms of their lifestyle. But then a Russian company comes out with FaceApp and people are freaked out. But I don't see any stop to it. I don't see like there being a backlash. It's going to die out. I mean, the features you get, it was fun to like age up everybody and, you know, to run a photo through a couple times to age it up even more, or even make people younger. That's one of the features that's really lacking that I've seen. I used it a couple times. It's very interesting. Just the whole idea of this technology is very interesting. The fact that a company can make an app to where you can effortlessly and photorealistically age people or make people younger, age them or decrease their age with a click of the button is we're just seconds away from an app being able to do that to video, to where it will be able to analyze the face in a video and age it up to like the motion picture of faces. But then also it's going to allow that kind of deep fake face swapping stuff that's happening also. It's just going to make that even easier. Just the technology. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And people are flipping out. You can't be flipping out about this. You have to be cautious about what you're doing and what you're putting out into the world. And you can't be so blind to where technology is going to think this is the end. This is just the beginning. Things are going to get better. All companies, from Google to Russia to China to South Korea to North Korea to Japan, everybody who has companies that develop applications and software and technology are working on ways to use computers to do things for us automatically, known as AI. And these things aren't necessarily going to be iRobots, but eventually they probably will. But this is like every job that a human can do, most jobs humans can do, is going to be taken over by robots and computers very soon. Like, to do what this app does in seconds by hand, you would have to first be somebody that understands how faces age and how wrinkles form on faces dependent on the type of face that is. Like, it's not an easy thing that this is doing. It's not just like photoshopping and swapping a face, which so many humans I've seen that do this for like Photoshop work. They do horrible jobs. Like, so many people do really bad Photoshop work, and these are humans that are trying to do it. And I don't know how long they've been doing it, for a certain amount of years, but they still suck. They're still horrible at it. They don't understand lighting and all these things, whereas these computer apps are just going to be able to do it in seconds far better than somebody doing it longhand. It's like the calculator versus doing division longhand. It's ridiculous. But yeah, FaceApp is super interesting, blew up the internet, high quality. It's amazing. I can't wait to see what's next. We live in a very interesting time. And I think if we're going to be worried about Russia, we need to be worried about the fact that the person in charge of our country is probably in debt to them on a personal level. Like, that's probably the biggest. The person in charge of our country is in debt to Russia versus an app that is, oh, they own our faces now. It's like, okay, so does Instagram, so does Facebook, so does the internet. Like, you're not. First off, unless you're famous, shut the fuck up. But also, if you're famous, other people, like anybody, can just take your photo and put it in there. It's not like you're protecting yourself being outraged by it. It's very interesting. But that's it for this episode. I'm done talking about FaceApp. Download it if you want. I've downloaded it. I've used it. And I'll probably uninstall it at some point because I don't know how much use I will get out of it. But that's it for this episode. New episodes daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go to inspireddisorder.com. Buy my artwork. Over 800 original paintings for sale. Save 10% when you use coupon code INSPIRED. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!